my third issue that I see fighters make a lot when they're younger, especially, is trying to learn techniques physically too fast. So not what you're talking about, like on too fast of a timeline, but
Yeah.
like, I'll be like,
All of our fighters who are watching this, they're just like, right now, they're like, damn, dude. They're like, bro, like, that's all we do. It's like, slow down.
yeah.
Slow down. Like,
And a
yeah.
lot of times too, it'll come. So like right now, I'm really into like, I'm playing with polyrhythms in striking training, which is like as complex as it sounds, right? Like we're taking like musical theory and attaching it to striking drills. It's like very difficult, but it starts with something real simple. So like, for example, last week I had them all stepping in a box,
Yeah. One,
not doing
two,
anything else.
three,
No
four.
punches,
One,
no defense,
two, three,
just
four.
stepping. And if you don't put effort and focus into those super easy rounds, as soon as we start to add layers of complexity, things are going to break down. And if you try to go too fast, too early, you'll never get out of the drill what we want. It's a cliched saying, man, I should have brought this up in episode 1, but slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
That's
and
it, man.
That is so true.
So true.
So true. So like a lot of times, and especially if someone's learning something that is related to something else they've done, right? So let's say they're learning a jab, or let's say they've learned a jab and then they're going to learn how to use a switch jab in various contexts. If they just try to hit the switch jab at the same speed that they can normally jab, they're never going to learn that technique perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like we have to slow things down significantly. Movement quality is the highest priority, right? I don't care how quickly you can hit it within your first day, 2 days, week of training a certain technique. All I care about is you're doing it right. Yeah. So when you're physically learning a new technique, right? When you're going through that drill the first time, go slow. Add speed only when it feels like it's accurate and it's smooth. Then at that point, we can slowly add speed right up to the point where you feel like, hey, yeah, maybe my technique's breaking down a little bit. Hey, let's stay here for a little while, and then add speed a little bit more. And again, it might take longer initially to build that speed up, but overall, you're going to learn that technique in a way that's applicable to fights way faster.
Yeah, I mean, you're either going to start off slow and right or fast and wrong.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to that.
And to tie things back to my first point, what happens when you're doing really fast reps of an incorrect movement at a high intensity? You're refining bad technique. Yeah, you're ingraining that into your nervous system.
There it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do it all the time. Like I will segment down like larger techniques such as takedowns, right? Mm-hmm. Takedowns is a large technique, especially for MMA. It's vastly different than in wrestling. It's a large technique and it's a large motion and it's a window that is open and shut like that. So it's something that inherently does have to be fast. Mm-hmm. There's no time to stop at all during this. But in the learning process, there sure as hell is. You believe there is, right?
Yep.
You set your strikes up, you remove the defense, you get your level at the appropriate position, you break into the hips. Like, it's like, we break it down nice and simple, slow and smooth. Now smooth is fast. And now you're blowing through your takedowns, right? And it's just worked like that since the beginning of time. Mm-hmm. I remember back in Lawrenceville, 2010, Warren's working on me with this like GSP-esque takedown where we're slipping a jab, shoulder rolling, lining up with the hip and blowing through the hips, right? What's my best takedown?
Double leg blowing through the hips.
Blowing through the hips on a double leg, right? Specifically a reactive, but I also have it proactively, right? That's another topic. But it came from tremendous amounts of boredom on my part.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say to Warren, right? I wasn't going to be like, oh, I'm bored, let's roll. Oh, like, oh my God, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
I'd be terrified to say that. And we would do that slow for an hour and then a next day for an hour. And dude, we did this forever to the point where while it was going on, I had a whole freaking things going in my, like, completely unrelated to training. I wasn't thinking about that at all.
Yeah.
Right? Everything, you know how they say, oh, training takes your mind off of everything outside? Not that training. That training, all I was thinking about was what was going on outside, right? We have a window front. I'm just paying attention to I'm watching people walk past the window. Boom! Boom! Because we were just hitting and then all of a sudden, I realized I'm thinking of everything but this. And I'm hitting it perfect. Boom, we did it. Had to be literally 50 hours of doing it slow, over the course. This was, of course, over the course of 5 to 6 months.
Right.
You know, like an hour on a Tuesday, then an hour on a Friday, and
Mm-hmm.
like such like that. And man, it paid off. And now, like, it's like you get to that point where I couldn't do it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just like, okay, a common mistake is, sorry guys, I did it right again. Common mistake, damn, I did it right again. You know, like it's hard to do it wrong.
Dude,
you know?
I've had that happen before a couple times. Training, like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, piggybacking off this, what percentage? Not for okay. Let's clarify this a little bit. Not for a recreational, martial arts enthusiast, but someone who's actually, going to fight, right? And we'll say at a high amateur, plus level. What percent of their training should be boring?
Dude, a large percent should be boring, and that's the unfortunate part, but that's the sacrifice that you're going to make, because that's where you get the highest return on investment, that high ROI, right? Like, and like that's the thing. Like, if you want to do the fun stuff, you can do the fun stuff, but you're paying for it. You're paying to do that fun stuff, and what you're paying is you're sacrificing your skill and ability. Also, if it's sparring, you're probably sacrificing your chin, and your durability long term.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and I mean, and that's the sacrifice, and that's the part of it. Like, it's not fun, So one thing that I do as a coach is I try to make the not fun fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I try to make them, like, and whether it be by like turning it into some form of a game or doing it at a certain like pace, maybe making it like a little less like monotonous by simply making it into a group of 3.
Yeah.
Instead of,
Yeah.
and then there's value in that too, because now they're watching one of their training partners do
Yep.
it as well, or just like, by like, I'll work with some fighters privately, and specifically working on takedowns right now. It's what we're working on recently. I had Lucas, I had Brittany, and then I had Hound Dog with me. And we're working on, some proactive takedowns, just like making some adjustments on our level change, being more efficient, things like that. Really breaking down real minute things for this takedown. And dude, we did 80 minutes straight. 80 minutes straight. And afterwards, like, can you guys believe we did 80 minutes? Like, oh, it didn't feel that bad. Da, da, da. It's the most boring thing ever. But like, we're joking around. Lucas just posted a clip of it, of one of
you
the,
guys
it was
fun.
just it's just a drill. And like, he's just like slamming Hound Dog, right? And stuff. But like, so just trying to make that less monotonous, and it makes it a little easier to do it. But here's the thing. It could have been the most boring shit in the world. Those 3 would have done it. They would have
100%.
sat there and done it. Now, why would they have done it? Would they have done it because they know it's the right thing? I think so. I think that's why they would have done it. Is there an element of they're scared to say no to me? Yeah, and that's helpful.
Totally.
That's helpful.
You're the coach
as well,
for the reason,
right? Like that.
Like,
it's just a helpful thing, and I've had that my whole life. I've been afraid of not afraid of my coaches.
a healthy respect.
A healthy respect, maybe afraid to disappoint.
Yes.
Afraid to disappoint, right? Like, I wouldn't tell Warren, no, I'm not doing something for practice. Like, I'd be like, I was just scared. I remember when I was in college, freshman year wrestling, we had just got done with like the conditioning portion of the preseason. Now we're in the room, and dude, after the second day, like, I'm 18 years old. I've probably never honestly been sore in my life, right? Like, dude, I was crazy sore. I remember like sitting down, like just like standing up and sitting. It was like, it hurt. It was in serious pain, and I was like, dude, I would do anything to not practice. Like, do I tell like coach, like you couldn't touch me, it hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't move, I can't shoot or whatever. I was like, do I tell the coach, like, coach, I need the day off? I was terrified. You know what I did? I went to practice.
Yeah.
And I practiced, and I left that practice like, wow, I can't believe I made it through that. And dude, still to this day, that one single practice that I made it through, and it wasn't like the practice was like crazy hard. It wasn't like the most relentless workout or anything of that nature, but it was the way I came in, like, I was in shambles. Like, and like, I made it through something that I didn't think I'd be able to.
And what's important about that is, like, you never know when one particular practice is going to give you that lesson or reinforce the lesson of overcoming. You know what I mean? And like, that's why it's so important to stay consistent.
That lesson just like hopefully it always sticks with me. I mean, it's been quite some time. That was 2005, so it was a long time ago, and it definitely paid off in fights. I vividly remember third round of my fight against Rob Hanna, like, kind of like reflecting back on that and like just like as tired as I've ever been in my life. I've never been more tired, you know. I believe that was my first time in a third round.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was my first time ever in a third round and stuff. And I'm exhausted, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do anymore, and just like being like, just do it. Like, you know, you're as tired as you're gonna get. Like if you like, and I was shooting double. I'm like, I'm gonna shoot a double, right? I ran an open stance head inside bar scar double, and I was like, just go. And I'm like, yeah, thinking to myself like, if I fall over like dead tired, then that's how I lose. But like, I'm not gonna lose standing here not doing it.
Yep.
You know,
and it all comes back to,
dude. Not only I hit
practice.
like two that round. I was like, boom.
Yeah.
I hit that one. All of a sudden, I was like, whoa. I was like, dang. Okay, let's go. Boom. And it all came back to a practice in 2005, and this fight was in 2015. Yeah. So,
Dude, that's awesome. Real quick, I want to piggyback on this. There's a point that I thought about when you're talking about like making the monotonous fun, and something that where I see that a lot, I think, is like actual training, like high level stadium level Muay Thai in Thailand, right? Like, what does their training consist of? It's running, it's shadow boxing, it's cracking pads, it's very, very playful sparring, clinching, and, you know, like heavy bag work, right? And what techniques are they throwing? It's like mostly round kicks to the body, some super basic boxing, pretty basic defense. Like, there's not a whole lot that goes into it. They're just doing the same thing over and over. Like, the amount of kicks you throw is insane. But that's why people go to Thailand to get better at kicking, because you're going to throw an insane amount of kicks. We have those repetitions that we talked about, those boring reps. But they're constantly joking, having fun. You know what I mean? Maybe they're making fun of you, but that's hilarious as well. You know what I mean? Like, and they're making the training environment fun enough to where you can get through a 3-hour practice where you threw, you know, hundreds and hundreds of kicks, and you know, that's how you get good at that specific thing.
that's it. There you go. Good stuff.